All right. Today, we are diving into one of the greatest stories of betrayal, survival, and pure epic revenge ever put to paper, Alexander Dumas's The Count of Monte Cristo. Let's get right into it. I want you to imagine something for a second. What if you had everything you'd ever dreamed of? A great career, the love of your life, an amazing future mapped out, and then, bam, in a single day, it's all snatched away from you. All based on lies? Well, that's exactly where this incredible story kicks off. So we find ourselves in Marseille, France. It's 1815, and we meet our hero, Edmond Dantes. He's only 19 years old, and honestly, life is just about perfect. He's on the fast track to becoming a ship's captain, and he's about to marry the woman he loves. But you know, a life that perfect, it can attract some really negative attention. Edmond's success and happiness have planted these little seeds of jealousy in the people around him, and those seeds are about to grow into something truly, truly destructive. So let's just paint the picture of what's at stake here. He wasn't just doing okay, he was on top of the world. The youngest guy in line to be captain, engaged to his wonderful fiancée Mercedes, and he's a good dude. Honest, popular, he has his entire life stretching out in front of him. This is the before photo, and man, it is painfully bright. So how does it all come crashing down? Well, it wasn't just one bad guy. It was a whole conspiracy, a team effort, with three key players. First, you've got his career. A jealous shipmate, Danglars, wants that captain promotion for himself, so he secretly writes a letter accusing Edmond of treason. Then there's his love. A so-called friend, Fernand Mondego, is in love with Mercedes, so he makes sure that letter gets delivered. And the final nail in the coffin? His freedom. It's stolen by a corrupt prosecutor, Villefort, who realizes Edmond knows a dangerous secret about his own family. So to protect himself, he burns the evidence and throws Edmond in prison. Indefinitely. No trial, just gone. And just like that, Edmond Dantes vanishes. He's tossed into the Château d'If, one of the most terrifying prisons in all of France. And this isn't just the end of his old life. It's the beginning of a transformation into someone else entirely. 14 years. Just think about that for a minute. 14 years. Locked away in a cold, dark dungeon. He has no idea why he's there, no trial, no hope. It's the kind of thing that would completely break a person, drive them absolutely insane. But in that despair, something shifts. He meets another prisoner, an old, incredibly brilliant man named Abbe Faria. Faria becomes everything to him, a teacher, a friend, a father. He sees this burning rage for revenge in Edmond, and instead of putting it out, he gives it focus. He teaches him that real power, that comes from knowledge. Faria basically gives Edmond a university education in a dungeon. He teaches him science, history, languages. He turns this naive sailor into a brilliant scholar. He also tells him the secret location of a legendary hidden treasure. And maybe most important of all, he helps Edmond connect the dots to figure out exactly who betrayed him and why, laying the groundwork for what will become a truly masterful revenge. So after an unbelievable escape, Dantes finds this treasure and uses it to completely reinvent himself. He steps back into the world years later, not as a poor sailor, but as the incredibly wealthy, sophisticated, and deeply mysterious Count of Monte Cristo. And the change is, well, it's night and day. The trusting, open-hearted young man is just gone. In his place is the Count. He's cold, he's calculating, and he is no longer a victim of fate. Oh no, he is now the master of his own destiny, ready to pull the strings. The Count uses his endless fortune and sharp intellect to slide right into the highest circles of Paris society. And who does he find there, living the high life? You guessed it, the very three men who put him away. They're all powerful, rich, and respected now, and they have absolutely no clue that this charming new Count is the man whose life they destroyed. He has been waiting for years, patiently planning every single move. He knows all their secrets, their ambitions, their weaknesses. The stage is set, and now the Count is ready to begin. This isn't going to be a quick, violent revenge. This is going to be slow, precise, and psychologically devastating. And the beauty of his plan is how perfectly the punishment fits the crime for each of them. So, for Fernand, who betrayed him for glory and to steal his love, the Count exposes him as a war criminal, ruining his reputation and driving him to suicide. For Danglars, who betrayed him for money, the Count masterfully destroys his fortune, leaving him bankrupt and nearly starving to death.
And for Villefort, who destroyed a man to protect his own family's honor, he's forced to watch his own family crumble from the inside out, a series of tragedies that drives him completely insane. It is a systematic, brutal, and perfectly executed takedown.
But here's where the story gets really interesting. And a lot more complicated. Just as he's achieving everything he wanted, the satisfaction of that victory starts to feel hollow. The Count, who saw himself as an instrument of God's justice, begins to see the terrible consequences of what he's done. He starts to realize that his perfect revenge wasn't so perfect after all. In destroying his enemies, he's also caused enormous pain to their children, their wives, people who had nothing to do with the original crime. The clean line he drew between good and evil, justice and revenge, starts to get really, really blurry. And that brings us to the core question of the entire novel, doesn't it? By taking justice into his own hands, did the Count actually achieve it? Or did he just become another force of destruction, creating a whole new cycle of tragedy? The book doesn't give you an easy answer, and it's something that stays with you. In the end, after all the ruin and all the revelations, the Count walks away from it all, leaving behind these two final, famous words: wait and hope. It's this powerful shift away from the fire of vengeance and towards something new. It's a message that, even after the absolute worst has happened, life can find a way to start over. You just have to wait and hope.